Hi everyone, I'm Ken from Crypto Trading KS. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently up 3.38% to 59,081. Ethereum up 6.39% to 4533. My mission is to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, and also gain real wealth in the process. Investing and trading can be a very stressful activity. That's why Rule 774 is so important. Master yourself to master the market. Just like cryptos have a trend, your life has a trend as well. Seeking only money creates a vast hole in your experiences of life. Having real wealth is the answer. Real wealth includes inner and outer peace, fulfillment and meaning, purpose, fearlessness, integrity, decency, kindness and authenticity, as well as money. Investors and traders battle two basic enemies, self-sabotage and self-doubt. By going through this little quote, you're equipped to fight those two enemies, and those enemies can be strong, and they're very deceptive and very hard to understand when they're attacking you. To know that you are worthy because you are completely unique. And because you're completely unique, you deserve kindness, love, meaning, and every success in life, both in terms financially and real wealth. Let's have a look at Bitcoin's technical action. Now, why do we look at Bitcoin? Because of Rule 45, no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. The market is a clear illustration of this right now. When Bitcoin comes up, the market, 99.9% of the market moves with Bitcoin. Of course, we always get some things that move against Bitcoin. That's natural. And as Bitcoin comes down, we always have some cryptos that inverse Bitcoin's gravity, but eventually everything in the crypto market will be subject to Bitcoin's gravity. It's really important to understand. That's why focusing on Bitcoin is really, really important. A lot of people, when they're new to the market, new to the crypto market, just say, I want to just cuddle my beloved alts and just look at those, and I don't want to look at anything else. It would be like cheating or something. It's not really the case. There's no cheating in the crypto market. What you need to do is look at Bitcoin's price action. It will give you a really fantastic insight into what the crypto market is doing. Now, when we look at Bitcoin's technical action, we can see it's still under resistance. It's currently trading at 58,921. It's getting there. We need to get above this level of resistance, the price of around $60,000. When we regain this particular support at 61,897, then the party is back on. But there are always events inside the crypto market and inside financial markets which cause people to be a little concerned. That's really normal stuff. However, it's really easy to get shaken out of a position if you're not ready for negative news. What we do here is try and tell you what is on the radar. So when it comes, it's no shock. You are prepared and you have a strategy that will help you to benefit from whatever crisis unfolds. And they are always unfolding. It's just part of life. In episode 332, we covered the MtGox remediation. Now the concept there is MtGox is restoring about $9 billion worth of Bitcoin to holders that had their Bitcoin stolen. Now the issue is that this will probably happen at the earliest in summer of 2022. That basically means there's not going to be $9 billion worth of Bitcoin flooding the market. Right now, it will be delayed. Just quickly before we get into MtGox, I use TradingView, and it is without question the best technical analysis tool that you could ever use. If you're a serious investor, a professional investor, or seeking to become a professional trader, that's just a trader that's consistently profitable, I would suggest you reach out and grab TradingView. I've left a link in the description for a 60% off voucher, and you get one free month. I think it is a really, really valuable thing. As a community, we go straight to the source data. When we're looking at the MtGox reserve from CryptoQuant, what we're seeing is that the current reserve is at 137,890. I had a couple of people reach out, and I want to thank them very much. They said that they got an alert from CryptoQuant that there was a reduction in this reserve. I've done a bit of checking. I can't find anything on it, but if you've got the same thing, please let me know. I have alerts set up too to actually monitor this MtGox reserve as well. So I didn't get anything, but that doesn't mean it's not coming down. I just want to say thank you to all the community that reaches out on a daily basis and shares really cool information with me. Thank you so much, everyone. I did a lot of checking through Twitter and various other news sources, and I didn't find any distributions occurring from MtGox at the moment. That doesn't mean they're not occurring. We need to keep our eye on it, but there has been an estimate of summer 2022 for MtGox to redistribute Bitcoins or rehabilitate those Bitcoins. We can see that in Bitcoin's price action, technically, we're above a level of once resistance, just coming back in for the retest to turn that into support. We're below this level of resistance, playing in at around 59,500, and of course price will wobble around here. As always, any resistance is like the ceiling of a roof. It takes a little bit of time to jackhammer through, and support is like the floor. You bounce from the floor into the roof. This is price action for you. The next issue on the radar that could potentially impact the crypto prices across Bitcoin and your beloved alts is potentially India's crypto ban. I did an extensive deep dive research in episode 344. And again, I want to thank the community for reaching out and sharing with me. It's just so beautiful that we have so many community members caring about the community. Thank you so much, everyone. If you're on Twitter and you would like to reach out to me, you can find me at StanDfielD. StanDfielD has 2 D's in it, StanDfielD. I would welcome you reaching out. The next thing to discuss is the debt ceiling. Originally, the debt ceiling was pushed forward to December the 3rd. There's been some talk by Janet Yellen that the federal government of America will run out of money by December 15th. So December the 3rd was the first date that the extended funding ran up to. Now we're seeing December the 15th seems to be the key date. I hope that answers some questions inside the community. But the real issue is that this debt ceiling issue needs to be addressed as soon as possible. I discussed yesterday in the previous video about the ramifications of the debt ceiling not being raised. We could see a sell-off, but potentially a 33% sell-off in the crypto market, followed by a fairly quick repair, like what happened in 2013. That is not probable. Maybe we could give it a 3% chance of happening. So if you've got a 10-5-10 fund and you want to set it way down to capture something like that, that could be well worthwhile, but the probability is not great. We'll know much more about this in about 19 days. The second thing, well, the last thing we need to look at is the Evergrande Chinese property development issue. To understand the health of the Chinese property market, we can just actually chart the particular companies that are involved in it. Evergrande, Fantasia Holdings, Greenland Holdings, Country Garden, and Vanke. We can see that those 5 companies combined have a total net debt of $920 billion. That's far in excess of the debt that's being thrown around when people talk about the Evergrande debt. What we see here is the share price. The share price is so far kicking up. This is really good because if the share price continued to plummet down, it would be a warning sign that smart money is getting out of these particular companies. Things are basically in a holding pattern in the moment with a slight improvement in health. We'll know more about Evergrande on December the 28th. That's when another bond becomes due for payment. That's in about 32 days. What we can see here, MtGox, pretty much of a non-event. India's crypto ban, it's debatable what will happen there. Episode 344 goes in depth. The debt ceiling will of course be increased, but we could see some turbulence because politicians love to get their way. December the 28th, Evergrande is just chugging along at the moment, showing some signs of repair, which is really, really good. So what does this mean for the crypto market? The crypto market is one of the first markets to feel the pain if there's any global issues. That means we need to actually look at the stock market quickly. If you're new to the community, a very warm welcome and hello. One thing that we do is that we always look at the interplay between stocks and bonds and crypto. Many people in the crypto space say, I'm not going to look at the stock market or bond markets, they're so boring. And I agree with you, they're boring definitely, but they're important markets. Look at their size. This is going back to November 2020. Of course, crypto's grown past $2 trillion, but this is just an illustration to show you what happens underneath the hood of financial markets. The stock markets globally, all of them, were worth around 95 US 95 trillion in November of 2020. And you know, there's been a lot of government printing of money, so this figure would be very much higher now. The bond markets around the same time were worth 128 trillion. What typically happens? The crypto market is highly speculative. Because of its highly speculative nature, crypto tends to get hit first. That means that prices tend to come down in the crypto market first before they come down in stocks. If the stock market gets overheated and particular investors say, wow, this thing is getting risky, money flows into bonds, which increases the price of bonds. When we see the bond prices going up significantly and dramatically in a short period of time, we know trouble is afoot. But this play is what we're looking at. I'll show you what I mean. We talked about the bond prices. The bond prices are under resistance. This is a really good sign. This means that there's confidence in all markets. That's really critical to understand. We can see bond yields, which are inversely they move inversely to bond prices. We can see them starting to break through resistance. This is fantastic for crypto. You can see Bitcoin's fingerprint here in the background. Notice the association, the correlation between Bitcoin's price action and bond yields. It's going up. This is looking really good. And when we have a look at the fear gauge of the market, the stock market, which is the VIX, the fear gauge has been decreasing and it's slightly on an uptick, and that just is a witness to the fact that the NASDAQ 100, the technology index most closely associated with Bitcoin, because we're all about crypto, we just keep an eye on the market to have a holistic perspective. That's just retracing a little bit after a monster rally up. We can see oil hit resistance, and what happens when a price hits resistance? It bounces back from it. It's a ceiling. It's very, very normal stuff. We can see gold too has hit resistance and bounced back. It has a level of support below that will come into play around 1770. We can see also that the DXY, the US dollar currency index, is moving in line with Bitcoin's price action. Both are going up. Many economic commentators will say that they move in opposite directions. Really be careful. Go to the charts first. You can see clearly here, as Bitcoin has been going up, the dollar has also been going up. We can summarize all of that by actually looking at investment substitutability. We can see the S&P 500, which is another proxy for stocks, up 29%. Gold, well, it's nearly got to 0% loss, so it's getting healthier. and Bitcoin up 243% for the past year. What does all this mean? We can say MtGox is neither here nor there. The debt ceiling will be resolved. In all probability, Evergrande will be resolved. But there will be some turbulence. There always is, because the big players, the institutions, love turbulence and they love getting cheaper prices and bidding prices up as well. So what do we need to look at here? In all probability, we will exceed this resistance line as more people understand that there is clear sailing ahead, at least for the next month or so. And then we look at the potential resistance levels. There's a lot of selling activity around the $70,000 mark. And mainstream investors always tend to hover around these zero levels, 70,000, 50,000, 60,000. Institutional and professional traders and investors never go near round numbers. We go slightly below them if we want to sell, and if we want to buy, slightly above them, because there's just such a wall of momentum. For example, if you were concerned about this $70,000 sell level, you would sell at, say, $69,901 if you wanted, or something around there, but not putting it at 70,000. Please keep away from round numbers. What we see is resistance will in all likelihood be surpassed, turn to support, and will make a play for the 61,897 mark, and then accumulate power enough to get through the 70,000 level to turn this 73,638 line to support. Now, we always think about in advance probabilistic choices. What if the market goes down? Because it could, absolutely. We have strong support at 55,590 as well as 49,305. That's all about this concept. Make in advance probabilistic choices. If, for example, your beloved alts go down in price, what will you do? Will you hold? Will you sell? Will you try to dollar cost average in to increase your level of exposure? If everything rockets up, what will you do? How will you approach that? And yeah, it needs to be approached in a specific way. I'll talk about that in the masterclass. If prices go sideways, if they consolidate for a long period of time, if everything gets really boring, what will you do then? Having these three-phased approach is really important. So many influencers, so many channels only talk about one. Oh, it's going to the moon, it's always going up. And then the next day, oh, it's going through the floor. And it's very hard to watch, and it's not professional. What we do inside our community is that we think institutionally and we think very, very professionally. Just as the stock market has the VIX, the fear index, we also have the crypto fear and greed index. We can see that there's a lot of fear entering the market. You should feel really, really happy about this. The more fear that comes into the market, the better the prices are, and we're at the right phase of the market. But how do we know that? Turning to the KS model, which is a crypto technical trading model based on institutional price psychology. Before the KS model, people just looked at Bitcoin as a chart. They didn't really factor in black swans, such as the US liquidity crisis that happened in March 2020. They just viewed this as a normal piece of price action. Black swans are never normal pieces of price action. Also, many experts did analysis comparing bull market psychology to bear market psychology. Now, what does that actually mean? In a bull market, everybody has a basic philosophy that prices will go higher at some stage. In a bear market, there's the realization that the top has already been hammered in and lower prices are going to eventuate. All price is psychological by nature and determined by group psychology. From a mathematical basis and a psychological basis, if you compare the bull market sunshine to the darkness of the bear market, you're going to get incomparable states. That often leads to really erroneous decision making and can cost people a lot of money. The KS model brought in this psychology analysis to the crypto market, and comparing same psychology, sunlight to sunlight, bull market to bull market, bear market to bear market, and consolidation to consolidation is incredibly important. Also, the KS model showed that previous cycles have been increasing, they've been lengthening. It's just in the mathematics. You just do the dates. You can see, for example, the 2012 halving cycle lasted 367 days. The 2016 halving cycle lasted considerably more, 526 days. Many people thought that the 2016 cycle would finish around the same time as the previous bull market finished, and that would be very reasonable. Unfortunately, it ran 43% longer. 43% isn't a rounding error. That is a really, really long time. Coming from a background in financial markets extending past 30 years, and also being a former lecturer in first and second year statistics, when I look at a chart, I look through different eyes. I really want to understand how long something can go for. If we look at the 2012 halving cycle duration of 367 days back here, and we apply it to the current market segment, we can see that 367-day dump occurred basically at the top of the price action. If we look at the 2016 halving cycle, the 526 days, the duration of this previous bull market, we can see on the 19th of October, we surpassed that. Now, what are we looking at here? Of course, we're looking at a lengthening cycle. A lot of people called for the end of the bull market, just like they did in 2016. Looking back to the 2012 bull market, they said it's going to finish in the same duration as the past bull market. That is not the case. It wasn't the case then, and I don't believe for any reason it will be the case now. Well, it's not the case now. Prices actually surpass that level. What we see here is an upward support line that is being held. Also, the relative strength index on the 3-day basis is coming into support. We expect a pretty big bounce here. If we just assume that the bull market will last 43% longer than the previous bull market, that takes us to the 25th of May 2022. There's so much more to it. It's not just simply taking the same percentage. It's looking at adoption rates, looking at what crypto actually is. Crypto is the next evolution of the internet. It's from the internet of information to the internet of value. No government can stop it. China's government tries to stop it. It's not going to work. India's government tries to stop it. It's not going to work. Companies just embrace faster, cheaper technology. That is how the world is built. Let's zoom in a little bit more on the 8-hour basis. For the top 8, we can see Bitcoin. It's popping along this support line, just coming in for a retest. It may not even get down there, which would be fantastic. But if it does, we have our 10-5-10 fund, the volatility fund. We'll take advantage of that. We can see Ethereum already starting to bounce up. It's looking really good. Binance coin forging up, going along this heightened level of support, not this level of support, this steeper one. That's showing a tremendous amount of internal momentum. We can see Solana. Sol is coming back to its support, just wobbling around there. Looking at XRP, XRP is just under resistance now, and it's got a little bit of negative price momentum. If we look at Cardano, Cardano has been smashed. There's no other way of looking at it. Cardano is deeply down, and there is some talk that Cardano and Tron are suffering. I need to look more into it and get you the facts, but I think this could be some kind of remnant of the Chinese crypto ban. I'll get back to you with more details on that. If we have a look at DOT is just below resistance. DOGE is coming into support. It's just realistically lost that, but it's quite close. And we've had a fairly steep sell-off, so it may need to consolidate just for a little while to regather its momentum. Let's have a quick look at the Metaverse. We can see Mana, and we covered this in the top gainers, but Mana is charging along. One thing to bear in mind, there is always cyclical rotation. It happens in the stock market all the time, and it also happens in crypto. The Metaverse is really strong now, but as people lose interest and start to book profits in, just watch for that. Things don't go up forever. We can see Axie Infinity starting its second run. Good on you, Axie. Engine Coin is looking really healthy. SLP is starting to turn around, starting to get above this resistance here. Very good. Sand is just an incredible powerhouse. ILV is doing quite well. You can see that it breached this once resistance and then started to party, and it's got above this secondary level of resistance. It could come back and touch that again. That would be quite fair and quite reasonable as people book in profits. People are always booking in profits. People like profit. Alice has done really well. Look at that, just a beautiful chart, a lot of power, a lot of momentum. Boson Protocol is just under resistance, but it's starting to turn around as well and hitting a level of horizontal support. Let me know what you think about the Metaverse. Let me know how long you think it could keep on going and what the next area is that people will get crazed about. Is it memes? Is it DeFi? Is it NFTs? What could it be? I'd be really interested in your opinion. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video if you think it will help others. Thank you to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers. Please say hi and let me know where you're viewing from and if you have any questions. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video. If you'd like to take advantage of the Black Friday sale for TradingView, that could come in really handy. It's always nice to get such a significant discount, and it's such a useful tool. I've left a link in the description of this video that you can use. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, take care, and see you next time. Bye for now.